Hi everyone, I'm Chieh-Yang Huang. I'm from Penn State University. Today I want to introduce our work, Heteroglossia, In-Situ story ideation with the crowd. We know that storytelling is one of the oldest human activities. People like to use story to communicate information, learn new knowledge, and entertain ourselves. People use story everywhere and people like it. This is why storytelling is so important for us. However, storytelling is hard. Even writers like Hemingway said, there is nothing to writing. All you do is sit down at a typewriter and bleed. Amy Joy also expressed a similar thought. Everyone who says writing is easy isn't doing it right. Therefore, we all agree that storytelling is very difficult for humans. We need to put a lot of effort to come up with new stories. A famous phenomenon called writer's block also describes the difficulty of writing. It is a phenomenon that writers get stuck and cannot produce content as desired. So what can we do to help? In this paper, we crowdsource story ideas to help creative writers. We assign different story characters to crowd workers and ask them to pretend they are characters and think what would they do or what would happen next. Every character has its own personality and goal. For example, in this comic, there are two figures, and in the first one, a guy on a small island is very excited to see a boat because that boat might help him to leave the island. But the guy on the boat also is also very excited because there is an island. So they have different goals and they want different things. We believe asking workers to play different roles can stimulate new interesting ideas. So that is why we want to use role-play strategy. In this paper, we implement all these ideas into our system called Heteroglossia. Heteroglossia is a crowd-power system that allows writers to elicit story ideas using the role-play strategy. As you can see, when a creative writer writes a story draft and gets stuck like this, we can help him by generating a lot of story ideas. And to do so, first we need to extract the story character's information. And we will ask crowd worker to role-play the story characters and come up with ideas. These ideas will be collected and presented to the writer. And this is the interface of Heteroglossia. As you can see, Heteroglossia is built as a Google Doc add-on, so writers can enjoy all of the functions from Google Docs like this. And this is the normal Google Doc. And when they want to use our system, they can go to Heteroglossia, which is here. Okay, let's take a look at a demo video to know how to use Heteroglossia. So, as you can see here, in the Heteroglossia system, we need to ask writer to create new characters, and writer need to provide both name and descriptions because this information will be shown to the crowd workers, and crowd workers need this information to help them imagine the situation of that character. And when writers need help, they can use Heteroglossia to get ideas. So to do so, they need to select a piece of text and this text will shown as a content, and then they need to choose a team. A team means a group of characters, because we want to ask crowd workers to imagine that they are one of the characters. So here we need to select a group of characters to do role play. And writers can also write some note to specify the need to guide worker to generate ideas. When we get the ideas, we will present all of these ideas as a comment, as you can see here. And writers can easily manage all of these ideas through the comment function. Okay. And here we show the worker interface we use to crowdsource story ideas. As you can see, in the worker interface, we mention characters' name many times, like here, here, and here. The character information and the note are shown as the information. And worker need to read all of the story draft first before they create new ideas. So after we finish building our system, we want to know the effect of role-play strategy. We conducted a controlled study to answer these two questions. First, can role-play strategy provide ideas that are more useful? Are there any trade-offs? Since our system is designed to be used when writers get stuck, we acquire data from creative help because this is also the case for them. And here let's review a theory for ideation in previous research. This theory tells us that when a creator reaches an impasse, ideas that are semantically far from the current working ideas are more helpful. So in our case, that means when a writer gets stuck, ideas that are far from the current story draft will be more useful. So given the previous theory, we found that yes, the roleplay strategy provides ideas that are more useful, because heteroglossia can generate semantic far ideas. However, it also comes with trade-offs. When we give more instruction to workers, their ideas become less interesting and less surprising. So we found that roleplay strategy can help writers, but the ideas will be less interesting for audience. Then we conducted a deployment study to understand how creative writers feel about heteroglossia. We conducted a 3-day deployment study with 2 experienced writers. P1 received an English minor in undergrad. She has been writing for a long time, and she is now trying to publish her first book. P2 has a minor in creative writing, and she participated in National Novel Writing Month many times. In this study, we first conducted a pre-study interview to understand how do they usually do to overcome the writer's block. And then we asked them to write a 1,000-word story in 3 days. During these 3 days, they were also required to use heteroglossia at least 3 times. After finishing the write-up, we conducted a post-study interview to understand how they think and interact with heteroglossia. We then compensate them with $50. So how did they use heteroglossia? We plot story progress to show their activities. The x-axis means the time, and the y-axis means the cumulative word count. So in general, when time goes larger, the word count also increase, as you can see like this. From this chart, we observe interesting things. P1 would write something first, like here, and then when she gets stuck, she would request an idea and leave. So after a while, or next day, P1 came back, read all of those ideas and write something new. And again, when she felt getting stuck, she stopped it and requested new ideas and then left. And P2 show the same behavior but differently. P2 likes to request multiple ideas, like here. Yeah, there are 2 ideas here. After conducting the interview, we have some findings. First, the output of heteroglossia is interesting. P1 said there are some very creative answers in there. P2 also said that she liked the ideas and they are very fun. We also found that writers benefit from heteroglossia in different ways. Participants say that heteroglossia can capture the personality. For example, P2 said one of the characters is very dramatic, and heteroglossia suggested that the character can go make a lot of money and do something crazy. And P2 agree with it. Participants also say that heteroglossia can figure out the personality even if it is not specified. Because heteroglossia use a crowdsourcing method, it is possible that workers remember what happened before. For example, P2 say that heteroglossia remembered one of the characters had a headache. Participants also say that even idea that was not used in the story is useful because they can inspire new thought. Heteroglossia suggests that one of the characters can be a supernature for P2, and although P2 say that character is not a supernature, but she agreed that it is actually a very interesting idea to try in the future. However, there are also some limitations for heteroglossia. First, participants expressed that they would also like to try the no-role strategy to generate ideas. And second, scalability. It is unclear what will happen when we use heteroglossia for more than 200 characters for half years and write a 10,000 words novel. And we think that it might be difficult to handle a lot of content in such scenarios. So yeah, we are not sure that if heteroglossia can scale to a large story. And we also found that in this paper we only provide indirect evidence to prove that heteroglossia can help relieve writer's block, but the direct evidence is still missing. Therefore, in the future, we would like to conduct a large-scale, long-term deployment study to examine the effect on long stories. And we also want to provide story ideas automatically, because one drawback of crowdsourcing method is that it will have high latency. So we hope that automated approach can help us to provide quick response and solve this problem. And that's all. Thank you for your attention.